Welcome to the Transformation Academy. I'm Marcus, and this channel is dedicated to simplifying and creating successful fitness, nutrition, and mindset tools for all men, but specifically for those of us who are 40 plus. Okay, gentlemen, so I want to go over a new topic, one that I've gone over briefly in a previous episode. So let's go over what's called a drop set. So have you ever wondered, you're looking at different examples of these kinds of things, what's the reason behind having a drop set? Well, let's ask this question first. Okay, so when you're looking at a workout routine that's online or an app or what have you, and somebody's created, what is it that you're looking for? You're looking for something new, something that's creative, something that is obviously not boring, that you haven't done time and time again. You know, I get it, all those kinds of things. There's only a limited amount of things that you can come up with without beating your head against the wall trying to figure out something new or rewarding or results driven, right? Okay, so based on that note, a lot of these types of programs that are out there, they're repeating obviously the same kinds of methodologies. But what I want to do is I want to cut through a lot of that and a lot of that static because again, it really comes down through time. And then time under tension. So if you think in terms of, let's say 1,000 pounds, one rep, I can't do that, but I know I can lift 1,000 pounds through multiple reps in a short period of time. And that may not be the same as the person who can do 1,000 pounds and do it like a power lifter. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just sharing with you, it's time under tension. I'm looking for what's considered power strength or condition strength. So it's strength through time over longer periods of time, or condition strength. Anyway, so that'll be, again, I'd like to go over lots of different things. I'm also going to go over lots of information that is going to repeat some of it in a lot of sequences, only that it can drive home a lot of what I'm trying to teach and coach on to help guys that are 40 plus, and it can help the younger guys too, believe me, guys and women, because I work with men and women of all ages. But I'm really seeing an uptick in the need for a lot of guys that are, because we have this tendency to be lone wolves and try to do things on our own, and I can figure it out, and I got it, and you know, I get that. So hopefully this will resonate with you a little bit. Okay, so a drop set. Think in terms of reduction or reducing or dropping something, right? So when we're normally doing, like in the Weider principles that were developed back in the late 50s and 60s, what you're doing is, you know, rep sequence, it's like 4 sets of 10, or a pyramid, 6, 8, 10, 12, and doing that obviously in 4 sets. Okay. What a drop set is, it's going to provide to you the ability to get a certain amount of weight pushed through time in a short period of time with more volume. And volume meaning more reps in a smaller space of time. You know, so in this case, a drop set, in the simplest terms, let's just take 100 pounds. Okay, so we're doing some exercise that's 100 pounds, and we're going to do it 10 times, 10 reps. The next step in the sequence is going to be what's called a drop. So instead of 100, now you're doing 90. Right? Then you're doing 80. You're doing that 3 times for 10 reps each for 1 set. Okay? So it sounds like a pyramid or an inverted pyramid where you're going down in weight, 190, 80. You're doing this without any rest between each of those 10, right? So it's 100, you're putting that down. Then you're doing 90s for 10. You're putting that down. Now you're doing 80s, putting that down, doing 10. That's 1 set for 30 total reps in 1 set. Does that make sense? Okay. So that makes sense. So that's the basic drop set or strip set. And again, this is something that's been used. Look at Frank Zane, Lou Ferrigno, all the old school bodybuilders. Again, These are guys who started the strength and conditioning game. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a mentor of mine, only in the fact and the adaptation and visualization aspect, well, light years before anybody else. Point being is drop sets are a foundation tool that I'm going to explain some modifications here that'll maybe help with some creativity, some growth, that's going to help you get to where you want to go. Okay, so the 3x10 sequence, that's a drop set. You do that 3 times, that's 90. Remember, my base foundation rule is going to be 300 reps per body part per workout in 30 minutes or less. Okay, so the next variation of something like that is what I call a half century. And there's a century. So the half century, think in terms of half centuries, 50. Okay, so instead of doing 3 sets of 10 in one giant set, you're doing 5. So in my previous example, you're doing 100 pounds 10 times, then 90 10 times, then 80 10 times, 70 10 times, 60 10 times. Right? So it's 50 reps. You're doing 2 sets. That's going to get you to 100 with proper weight, with proper form. Proper weight, proper form. Okay? It's not about ego. So if you can't do 100 pounds for 10, and then you think you're going to do 90 for 10, you got nothing coming. You want to start with 80 or 70 or whatever that number is going to be that you feel good that you can do the 10, and where you feel like you're almost going to fail at 8 to 10 when you're doing it. That way when you drop down, the weight may be lighter, but your body's still trying to adapt and it's going, oh my God, I got more weight to do for another 4 sets of 10 to get to 50. Okay, so that's a half century. Use that, that tool. So between that set and the next set that you're doing, because that's 2, you're going to do that 2, you can do that 2 times. I'd give you about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. You know, walk around, talk to your buddy for a second. Don't take up space, but you know, let him do his thing if you got a workout buddy. If not, like I said, just sit there. Don't take up space. Let the people work out that are needing to work out around you. You know, we're working on some of that kind of stuff on this program too. We want to work on gym etiquette and various other kinds of things that we need to work on. But century is 100 reps in 1 set. Now, what I will say, it all depends on what muscle group you're doing. So if you're doing larger muscle groups like legs, chest, back, and a heavier weight, you can do 10-pound drop, adjustments. But this is where you have to be smart and not where I was talking about being so linear before. It may end up being by 5 pounds, but you're still doing 10 sets of 10 reps, but dropping the weight, either 10 pounds or 5 pounds each time. Or even 2.5 pounds. It depends. Like maybe you're doing something where it's a shoulder exercise that, yeah, you got to do 100 reps, but the machine doesn't go down by 10s that you can lift that kind of weight. So simple drop set, 3x10s, half century, 2 sets of 50 drop set, strip set, a century, 10 reps of 10, all in 1 set. Okay, so those are variations. A lot of times, even the fitness folks that are out there, they'll just call it a finishing set or a burnout set, or 21s or some variation of that kind of methodology. We would come up with these names like crazy 8s. I can go over that kind of thing. But right now, drop set, strip set, easy to keep in the toolbox to use. Again, that's what we're working on. Tools for the toolbox, just like you do in the garage. When you're taking care of the car or anything else that's going on, you got to have a lot of resources and tools that you can jump to, right? So the Allen wrench isn't working over here. That you have the multi-tool. Now you got one that's over on the other bench. Something else. Okay. So drop sets, strip sets. Okay. So when you're utilizing these kinds of tools, when you are getting in a workout, mix it up. Again, the whole idea is body needs to adapt. It needs to be thrown off what it's normally been doing. So if you've been consistently doing the same kind of routine or exercises or intensity, I mean, again, not to be hemming and hawing here, but there's lots of different variables in there that you could be doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's where many of us get caught. It's our comfort zone. And what I'm challenging you to do is get out of your comfort zone, do something different, do something that's a little bit more intense. Oh, and by the way, what you're going to get from a lot of what I'm sharing with you is, because of the volume that you're going to be doing, the increase in the volume from these routines that you're going to be doing or trying in your programs, it's going to limit the amount of cardio that you're going to need. Because again, I get asked all the time, Marcus, well, how much cardio do you do? I'm not in this for ego. I'm not in this for me to compete with you or anybody else. I compete with my own self. I'm just trying to do the best that I can do for my betterment, and through that I hope to just help you guys that are out there, because I know it can be a struggle, and if I can be that resonating voice that's out here helping in whatever capacity, that's going to speak to you and help you get over that hump, fantastic. I'm grateful for it. I'm looking forward to seeing the positives from it. So anyway, just to recap again, this is just a simple video going over drop sets, strip sets. Add it to your workout program and make comments if you need to on below and let me know what you think. I can go over a lot more detail on certain things than some of this too. So again, like, subscribe, follow what it is that I'm doing, and we're going to grow this because there's a lot of us that are out there that are needing help. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you soon.